If you're over 70, stop visiting everyone. 6 truths you need to hear. If you're over 70, it's time someone told you the truth. Visiting people, showing up just to be polite, dragging yourself across town for obligations that leave you drained. It's not a badge of honor anymore. It's not even kindness sometimes. It's a habit you've outgrown. This stage of your life isn't about proving loyalty or checking in on everyone else's well-being while your own soul is begging for stillness. It's about choosing where your time goes and realizing that not everyone deserves access to you just because they've always had it. There comes a moment, quiet but powerful, when you realize the world isn't going to slow down for you, so you must slow down for yourself. And in that slowness, you start to notice things. Who shows up for you when you don't reach out first? Who only remembers you when they need something? Who makes you feel seen, not just served? When you stop making the rounds, when you stop being the one to always initiate, to always host, to always remember birthdays and drop in just to be polite, you see the truth. And it's not always pretty, but it is freeing. This isn't about bitterness. It's not about shutting yourself away. It's about reclaiming the years you have left and asking yourself, truly, what brings me peace? Who brings me joy? Because those are the only invitations worth accepting now. You've already done the decades of being everything to everyone. You've shown up again and again, even when you were tired, even when it cost you your own comfort. That was love, yes. That was duty, yes. But this is different. This is your time. If you're over 70, let me say this clearly. You no longer have to go where you're not celebrated. You no longer need to show up out of obligation. You are allowed right now, today, to choose yourself, to sit in the quiet of your own home, sip your tea, listen to the birds, and not feel guilty for declining another social event. You are allowed to prioritize peace over politeness. And if that makes some people uncomfortable, let it. They'll adjust. Or they won't, but you're not here to bend anymore. So no, this message isn't about loneliness or resentment. It's about wisdom. It's about strength. It's about finally honoring yourself the way you've honored others for decades. Because if you're still chasing connection at this age, still trying to prove your value through presence, you're missing the most powerful truth of all. Your worth has never depended on how often you show up for others. It depends on how deeply you show up for yourself. Truth 1. You've spent a lifetime giving. It's time to receive. For over 7 decades, you've been the one people turn to. You've answered late-night phone calls. You've baked the cake, remembered the birthdays, driven across town for graduations, baby showers, hospital visits, and everything in between. You've made meals, made time, and made sure everyone was okay, even when you weren't. And it's been beautiful, exhausting, but beautiful. But let's stop and ask something real. When do you get to rest? When is it your turn to be poured into instead of always pouring out? Somewhere along the line, giving became your second nature. It became your identity, and you never really questioned it because you were raised that way, to be generous, to show up, to keep the family together, to be dependable, to love without condition. But now you're in a season where life is asking you to stop and consider something you've probably never asked yourself. What if I've given enough? That doesn't mean you stop loving. It doesn't mean you shut down. It means you shift. You've planted seeds in so many people's lives. Your children, friends, neighbors, even strangers. You've been their safe place. But the soil of your soul, it needs tending too. You've earned the right to stop giving from a place of depletion. It's not sustainable anymore. And more importantly, it's not necessary anymore. If you feel guilt bubbling up as you read this, it's not surprising. You've likely been conditioned to equate giving with goodness. But here's the truth no one told you when you were younger. Rest is also holy. Receiving is not weakness. It is balance. It is a form of grace. It's okay to let people care for you now. Let them bring you dinner. Let them check on you. Let them drive to you. Stop apologizing for needing that. It's not selfish to want to receive. It's time. You've done the heavy lifting. You've carried generations forward. Now it's your turn to lean back and be held. Let this chapter be the one where you finally get to experience what you've given others for so long. Love, presence, and appreciation without conditions. Truth 2. Not every door deserves your energy. There was a time when your presence at every event, gathering, or family dinner felt essential. People expected you to show up, and you delivered, reliably, lovingly, almost instinctively. You knocked on doors that didn't always open warmly. You gave time to conversations that left you a little emptier afterward. You stayed longer than you wanted. You said yes when your heart whispered no. And you did it all because you wanted to be there for them. But let's be honest now. Some of those doors, they didn't deserve your knock. Some of those visits left you drained for days. Not because you're too sensitive or too old, but because you've grown enough to feel the weight of misaligned energy, and your spirit knows when it's not welcome, even if people smile and pretend otherwise. At this stage in your life, your time and energy are sacred. You don't owe everyone access to your presence. You don't have to make that drive just because someone expects it. You don't have to sit at tables that feed your stomach, but starve your soul. Let's be even more honest. Some people only remember you when they need something. When they want advice, a comforting word, or a ride somewhere. And you give it. You always have. But the question isn't can you give? It's should you. You don't have to answer every call. You don't have to be available all the time. You get to choose who gets your Sunday afternoons now. You get to decide which conversations you walk away from feeling full and which ones are just noise. And you're not unkind for choosing silence. You're not rude for protecting your peace. When you stop showing up out of obligation, something powerful happens. Your world becomes quieter. Yes, but also gentler, richer, more intentional. You begin to realize that not everyone deserves front row seats in your life story. And those who do, they'll understand, they'll respect your boundaries. They'll come to your door without you having to knock on theirs. You've earned the right to be selective. So choose your doors wisely. Choose the ones that open wide with love, respect, and real warmth. Leave the others behind without apology. Because at this age, peace is not just a preference, it's a priority. Truth 3. They'll make time if they care. Let's sit with something a little uncomfortable for a second. If you stop calling, stop checking in, stop showing up, how many people would notice your silence before they missed your presence? It's a hard truth, one that stings a little, especially when you've been the glue for so long. But when you stop chasing connections, when you stop initiating every visit or family get-together, you start to see who's been holding the other end of the rope and who's just been enjoying the tug. This stage of life has a way of revealing things. It shows you which relationships were built on real love and which were built on convenience. When you stop doing the reaching, the checking in, the visiting, some people will vanish, not out of malice, but simply because they were never taught to reach back, because they got used to you doing the work. They built their comfort around your presence. And when that presence pulls back, the silence reveals the truth. But don't let that truth break you. Let it free you. Because the people who genuinely care about you, they will make time. They will find a way to be in your life. They will pick up the phone. They will knock on your door. They'll drive the extra miles. They'll sit beside you without needing a reason. And it won't feel forced. It won't feel like charity. It'll feel mutual. Whole. You're not asking for too much by wanting that. You're asking for reciprocity, for effort, for relationships that don't ride only on your back. You've done enough of the initiating. Now, let the balance return. Stop being the one to always schedule the lunch, plan the visit, send the reminder. Let people choose you without being prompted. And if they don't, that's your answer. Not everyone is meant to walk with you into this chapter, and that's okay. Love isn't always loud, but it's consistent. And those who love you won't let the distance grow too wide before they close it themselves. So rest. Let the silence speak, and watch who shows up, not just when it's easy, but when you stop trying. Those are the ones you keep close. Truth 4. Your presence is a gift, not a given. There's a quiet grace in growing older, a wisdom that doesn't need to raise its voice to be heard, a kind of presence that shifts the atmosphere, not with noise or effort, but with depth. That's you now. Whether you realize it or not, when you enter a room, you bring a lifetime with you, lessons, laughter, losses, strength. And that kind of presence, that's not ordinary, that's sacred. Yet somewhere along the way, many of us begin to feel invisible as we age, like our value fades with our youth, like our presence is expected but not really seen, like we're just part of the furniture now, there, but not noticed. That's a lie you don't have to carry anymore. Your presence is a gift, always has been. The fact that you still show up for people, that you still listen, offer wisdom, share space, that's not something anyone is entitled to. It's something you give. And like any real gift, it should be appreciated, respected, cherished. You've spent years moving around people's lives, as if your time had no boundaries, being there because it was expected, not always because it was respected. But now, you get to make a different choice. You get to remind yourself and others that being with you isn't just nice or routine, it's a privilege. If someone invites you into their home, their life, their time, it should be with joy and appreciation, not habit or convenience. You are not a background character in their story. You are the keeper of stories, of experience, of perspective. And that matters. So don't feel bad for stepping back. Don't apologize for waiting to be invited, instead of always inserting yourself. Don't second-guess your worth if the invitations don't come like they used to. You're not fading, you're refining. Let people earn your presence now, not with money or gifts or grand gestures, but with consistency, respect, and love. Let them show you they understand what a treasure it is to simply sit with you, talk with you, laugh with you. Let them meet you with the same warmth you've extended all these years. Because once you begin to treat your time as valuable, others will too. And those who don't, they were never seeing you fully in the first place. Truth 5. Protect your peace. It's the new wealth. You've probably spent most of your life chasing the things that people told you mattered. Stability, family, home, community. You worked hard, you showed up, you endured storms with a quiet strength, and you did it all for love. For the people around you, for the life you were building, and you did it well. But now, in this sacred stage of life, there's something more valuable than anything you've ever earned before: peace. Not just the peace of a quiet room or a nap on a rainy afternoon, though those are beautiful too, but a deeper peace. The kind that settles in your chest when you know you don't owe anyone an explanation, when you don't have to perform, when you're no longer tangled in everyone else's expectations. That kind of peace is rare, and it's yours for the taking, if you protect it. Because here's the truth: peace is not passive. It takes intention to preserve it. It takes courage to say no to things that disrupt it. And often, it takes stepping away from people, places, and patterns that no longer align with the calm you've cultivated. You don't need to keep visiting places that stir up old tensions. You don't need to sit through conversations full of gossip, negativity, or noise. You don't have to be the one who keeps the family together by enduring chaos in the name of tradition. You are allowed to want quiet. You are allowed to choose solitude. You are allowed to walk away from anything that costs your peace, no matter how long you've been walking toward it. This kind of peace, it's not selfish, it's wise, you've carried enough stress for a lifetime. You've worried enough. You've stayed up at night thinking about everyone else's problems, even when no one asked you to. But now you have the chance to rest, not just your body, but your soul. Let your home be your sanctuary. Let your mornings be slow and quiet. Let your phone go unanswered sometimes. Let people wonder why you didn't show up. And let the answer be simple. You chose peace instead. Because at this point, peace is your true wealth. It's what sustains you, nourishes you, holds you together. And the beautiful thing is, it's free. You just have to choose it, again and again, and protect it like your most precious possession. You just have to choose it, again and again, and protect it like your most precious possession. Truth 6. This chapter is yours. Live it authentically. You've spent your whole life being what others needed. The parent, the partner, the provider, the planner. You were the one who figured it out, who held it together, who made the sacrifices, and you did it all with love, with strength, with a kind of grace that most people don't even recognize until years later. But now it's time to ask a different question. What do I want this chapter to feel like for me? Not for your children, not for your friends, not for the people who are used to your reliability, but for you. Because the truth is, this chapter is yours. Not borrowed, not shared, yours. And here's what many people don't realize until much later. If you don't choose how to live these years intentionally, someone else will choose for you. They'll fill your calendar. They'll fill your silence. They'll pull you into their plans, their needs, their schedules. And before you know it, your golden years will feel like more of the same busy, responsible, burdened, but it doesn't have to be that way. You're allowed to write this next chapter with a lighter hand, to fill your days with only the things that nourish your spirit, to wake up slowly, to spend more time in nature, to read, to walk, to be still, to say no to gatherings that don't feel right, to pursue what lights you up, even if no one else understands it. You're allowed to want less noise and more meaning, less obligation and more freedom. Visit when it feels right. Say yes when your heart says yes. But stop showing up just because you've always shown up. That's not loyalty, that's habit, and habits can be rewritten. Live authentically now, not as the version of yourself others expect, but as the truest version of who you are, who you've always been, beneath the responsibilities. The dreamer, the artist, the quiet observer, the one who feels deeply and loves gently, and has learned that life isn't about being everything to everyone. It's about being fully yourself. Let this chapter be the most honest one yet, the most peaceful, the most joyful, and let it begin with one bold decision: to stop giving your time to people or places that don't reflect who you are now. Because you're not the same person you were at 40 or 50 or even 60. You've grown, you've softened, you've seen too much to pretend anymore. So don't live this chapter out loud or in silence, in community or in solitude, but live it for you. Conclusion: you're not disappearing, you're choosing peace. Let them say what they will. Let them whisper that you've changed, that you don't come around like you used to, that you're quieter now, that you keep more to yourself. Let them wonder why you no longer visit every birthday party, every Sunday dinner, every holiday gathering. Let them question the shift, because what they may not realize is that this shift didn't happen overnight. It happened slowly, quietly, over time. With every tired drive home, with every moment you felt unseen, With every obligation you met out of habit rather than joy. With every time you gave more than you received. And now you're not disappearing. You're not becoming cold or distant. You're not giving up on connection. You're simply choosing something different. Peace. You're choosing intention. You're choosing to honor the years you've been given, to stop filling your time with people and places that no longer bring life to your spirit, to finally listen to that inner voice that says, it's okay to rest now. It's okay to let others do the reaching. It's okay to let yourself be loved without always earning it. You've spent a lifetime showing up for everyone. And what a gift that's been. But the truth is, you're not meant to carry that forever. Not in the same way, not at the cost of your own soul. This is the season to slow down, not disappear, to become more present, not more distant, but present with yourself, with what matters, with what heals you, with who truly sees you. And if that means fewer visits, fewer conversations, fewer appearances, so be it. Let your absence speak. Let it reveal who truly values your presence. Let it filter your world down to what's real. Because here's the thing, you've never been just a guest in other people's lives. You've been a foundation, a guidepost, a living archive of love and wisdom. And you still, but now your presence is not to be spent. It's to be treasured. So choose wisely, walk softly, and know this. In choosing peace, you're not turning your back on the world. You're finally turning toward yourself. And that, more than anything, is the deepest form of wisdom.